Hi guys, you're on Elimination Channel. Today I'll tell you how to play Tin Patty. Tin Patty is a gambling card game with combinations that is very similar to card games such as three card poker. So if you're able to play at least one of those games, then Tin Patty is very easy to understand. Tin Patty is easier to understand. The game is using a regular deck 52 cards from twist twists without jokers, and items such as poker chips. The rank of cards is classic 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace, which means that 2 is the lowest card while Ace is the highest. The amount of players is 4, 5, 6, or 7. The objective is getting a certain amount of chips. Deal. Each player makes an ante. In this example round, the ante is 1 chip and gets 3 cards at 1 card at a time. Then the wins and the gameplay begins. So players can basically can turn into basically they can look at their cards, and in that case those players are scene players. However, they can also keep their cards hidden from everyone. In that case, they are blind players. So yeah. And so I'm starting with the leftmost player sitting near the dealer. Each turn is putting a certain amount of your chips into the pot, or basically deciding to fold, which means that you're no you are no longer participating in the round. So also blind players can still look at their cards later. In that case, they will turn into scene players. So yeah. So also scene players. If scene players want to make a bet, they must put an amount of their chips, which is the doubled amount of the stake number. The, the the first stake number is based on the ante, which means that in this example round, the first stake number is 1. So yeah. So Right. So sorry for the very long pause. So the stake number. So basically, after the blind player basically making a bet. Sorry for that. The stake number increases to the amount of chips placed by the blind player. If the seen player makes a bet, then the stake number increases increases to the half of the chips placed by the seen player. Also, for guys, see, the seen player can also increase basically raise their bet by multiplying it 4 times based on the current current based on the current stake number. So yeah. So the only player not voting gets the basically gets all of the chips from the pot. However, if two players are left not voting, then one of them can call for a show by multiplying their bet based on the current stake number. So yeah. Then the owner of the highest combination gets all of the chips from the pot. So yeah. Then the round along with the gameplay ends and the next round begins with the ante. Most, however, if the if the some scene player can't basically scene player is not allowed to call for a show if their only opponent left not voting is a blind player. So yeah. Alright, sorry for another one pause. So the game goes until one player getting a certain amount of chips. In that case, all of the players except one of them loses, or until only one player without a certain amount of chips is left. In that case, all of the players except one of them wins. So yeah. Alright, I told you everything about this game. I hope you enjoyed. Unless you don't happen to know how to play Teen Patty and still have nothing else to say, I'm ending this video right now. Oh wait, sorry. Alright. Sorry. Actually, I almost forgot to tell you about the combinations. So yeah. Alright, I am telling you about right now in in a rising ranking order. So yeah. So the lowest combination is a high card. High card is basically any combination lower than a pair. If high cards are equal, then the highest card is compared. If the highest card is equal, then the next highest card is compared. If that is also equal, then the last lowest card is compared. The next combination is pair, two cards, one ring. If pairs are equal, then two cards, one ring are compared. If those are equal, then the third card not in the pair is compared. So yeah. The next combination is flush, which is three cards, one suit. If flush combinations are equal, then then the ring of three cards is compared. So yeah. The next combination is straight, which is three cards in a consecutive order. For example, 2, 3, 4. So yeah. The next combination is straight flush, which is three cards of one suit in a consecutive order. For example, two of hearts, three of hearts, and then four of hearts. So yeah. And finally, the next combination, which is last and also the highest, is trio, which is three cards, one ring. So yeah. Alright, I definitely. So I told you about the combination, which means that I also told you absolutely everything. So, so yeah. Goodbye, everyone.